Hello and welcome to Reporters, the programme that brings you the very best of France 24 reporting from around the world. In this edition, we'll be focusing on Egypt and the violent events of February the 2nd in central Cairo. The previous day, more than 1 million people had hit the streets, demanding Hosni Mubarak's departure. The president stood firm, vowing not to leave office until September's election. With passions running high, a ninth day of protests saw the pro- and anti-Mubarak camps involved in running battles in and around Tahrir Square. Apart from firing warning shots, the army didn't intervene. 3 people died in the chaos, with nearly 1,000 injured. Our reporters Karim Hakiki and Johan Baudin were there.
Liberation Square, Cairo city center, the heart of the ongoing protest movement. This story chronicles 2 days of brutal clashes, anti-Mubarak protesters versus supporters of the regime. It is the story of a revolt fighting for survival. Early Wednesday morning, 2nd of February. For over a week now, ordinary Egyptians have been protesting against the regime of President Hosni Mubarak.
We're not going away. People were killed. Our martyrs gave their lives for us. They didn't die for nothing. We want results. Those responsible for their deaths, the interior minister, even Mubarak, must go on trial.
Tahrir Square, meaning liberation, has become the headquarters for protesters adamant that they will stay right here until the president leaves office.
We have no choice now. We can't turn back, because if Mubarak stays in power, we're all going to have serious problems.
Early morning, thousands more gather in Tahrir Square. Men, women, and even children. By mid-morning, Liberation Square is 2/3 full.
The people are with us. The entire Arab world supports us. We're going to drum up more support with nothing but our hands, in a very peaceful way, without a drop of blood. Unlike Mubarak and his criminal regime, we're going to force him out, make him quit.
La tension commence à monter, vraiment. Là, je vois 2 personnes qui sont en train de se disputer violemment. On essaie d'évacuer les blessés derrière les chars.
A few streets away, a very different crowd has gathered. For the first time, protesters in favor of Hosni Mubarak are making their voices heard.
Yes, we need change in Egypt, but this is not the way. We don't know who's behind this protest. If I join the protest, does that mean I support Mohammed el-Baradei or other people I don't know?
The president did what you wanted. He changed the government and he named a prime minister that you all love. You asked for Omar Suleiman. Now you have to be patient with our government.
Pro-Mubaraks decide to head for Liberation Square.
They were still sucking on their mother's breast when Mubarak was flying a fighter jet, and he controlled the entire army. So these protesters can just get the hell out.
It's over. It's finished. We're going to force them to leave.
With thousands of pro-Mubaraks determined to remove protesters by force, a large-scale confrontation seems inevitable. And while anti-Mubarak protesters continue to gather on Liberation Square, the news reaches them that supporters of the regime are on their way. For protection, a human chain forms all around the square, undeterred by military helicopters up above, while others paint the slogan of the day.
I'm optimistic. Mubarak's going to leave. Whoever comes after him, that's not what matters. What matters is that he leaves after 30 years of injustice and fear.
Go on, tell them your dream for the future.
I hope the government will leave us alone. I hope they all leave.
Our country is on its knees. There's corruption everywhere, extortion by police and government. We're suffocating. We can't live anymore. I want everyone to know this. Name of my family, my relatives, my neighbours. Everybody's behind this revolution.
Ils nous demandent de montrer ce qui se passe parce que pour eux c'est très grave ce qui se passe là. Ils nous disent nous sommes venus manifester pacifiquement et en contrepartie on se fait violemment agresser.
The fight breaks out early afternoon as pro-Mubarak's near Liberation Square. On the other side of the huge roundabout, anti-Mubaraks continue to file in, but rumors of a clash have them worried. This is what is happening several hundred meters away on the main avenue leading into Tahrir. Pro-Mubaraks, on horse and camelback, charge into the crowd, wielding sticks, metal bars, even knives. Those who are caught are immediately lynched. Many of the so-called supporters of the regime turn out to be plainclothes policemen, as stated on these ID cards. It becomes clear the government has decided to quell the protests by force.
It's just terrible. That's just not right.
So protesters fight back. Scenes of a civil war. Anti-Mubaraks stand their ground, sensing that the future of their revolution might just depend on their ability to keep control of Liberation Square today.
It's crazy. I can't believe it. In just 2 minutes, the whole thing went crazy.
2 minutes turn into an hour of brutal clashes, and still the army does nothing. Soldiers hold up inside their tanks. In the midst of the chaos, one man continues to pray, but not for long. He's hit by a rock.
Why are you all saying God is great? This has nothing to do with God.
The wounded are carried away, but there's nowhere to go and no one to treat them. Back on the front line, anti and pro-Mubaraks are now just a few meters apart.
This is Mubarak's fault. They're attacking us. They want to kill us all. These people are not real Mubarak supporters. They work for the government.
The Mubarak camp tries another strategy, using this truck as a Trojan horse. But it doesn't get very far.
We're stuck here. What can we do? We're just defending ourselves.
Mais je peux vous dire et vous assurer qu'ils sont complètement dépassés l'armée. Pour le moment, ils ne comptent pas intervenir. D'après ce que m'a dit ce jeune militaire, il me dit « Nous, on est là, on regarde et on essaye de sécuriser les manifestants ».
Every road leading into Liberation Square is now guarded by anti-Mubarak protesters. The injured are treated right there and then on the ground. Ambulances can't get near here. So those who need urgent attention have to be evacuated on foot. And the army doesn't lift a finger.
Mubarak, get out! Get out, Mubarak, get out!
Late afternoon, time for another prayer, while fighting continues just down the road. After nightfall, gunshots can be heard. The army fires warning shots to disperse the crowds. Yet the fighting continues throughout the night. And by daybreak, the regime's foot soldiers have been pushed back. Protesters have gained the high ground around Liberation Square. By mid-morning, only a handful of pro-Mubarak supporters are left in the street, and even those are retreating. By midday, they're gone.
I promise with people, I promise that I am president only just 5 months. After 5 months, I don't like to stay president again.
After almost 2 days of intense fighting, the anti-Mubaraks have managed to hold their ground without any protection or help. On Thursday afternoon, protesters rejoice. They've won an important battle, and Liberation Square will continue to be the headquarters of Egypt's largest protest movement in decades.
Well, joining me now are Karim Akiki and Johan Bodan from our French channel. They're here to tell us more about their experiences in Cairo with the help of an interpreter. Let's start off with Karim. Hello to you. You've got a little graphic I see here of Tahrir Square coming up. Obviously a very symbolic location in all of this. Tell us exactly about why it's so significant and how things panned out there.
Well, Tahrir Square is a very symbolic place. We shall see here in animation. Tahrir Square is essential. It's a place where all the inhabitants of Cairo are meeting. You see here the Nile River, the museum. Behind the museum there is the National Party, the PND. On the other side of the square, all the streets of Cairo leading to the square. So why was this square picked? Why do the inhabitants of Cairo pick this place, the square? Tahrir means liberation. And this square can be accessed by all means. You can see by the big boulevard, you can cross the Nile River and can get there by all the small streets. If you look closer at Tahrir Square and to understand what happened there with the demonstrators were there. They defended this area. During Reporter, we were on the main avenue, but during that time, they had to face their attackers. So this is a well-named square, the Tahrir Square. This is why the attackers tried to move, to be reactive, to get onto that square. And the performance for the anti-Mubarak is to be able to keep this square. They kept it.
Okay, let's bring in Johan now. Johan, we hadn't seen much of the pro-Mubarak supporters until this day. Tell us a little bit more about them. Who exactly were they?
It is difficult to believe that it's a spontaneous movement in the pro-Mubarak's camp. Wednesday we have seen a convergence at the same time of hundreds of people with the same ads, same slogans. And the day before there was no call for a demonstration by no political leader of the pro-Mubarak camp. In front of no camera. What we happen to learn is that textos were sent, and there was an order to be sent by a telephone operator to have people come down to the streets. So we may ask ourselves, what is the role of the policeman? There's no policeman in uniform in the streets of Cairo. And during the demonstration, the anti-Mubarak demonstrators have taken on pro-Mubarak people during the clashes dozens of cards, ID cards of policemen. And most of the pro-Mubarak was constituted with very large amount of youngsters, very aggressive hoodlums. So how couldn't we think about those thousands of prisoners who escaped from jails, from Egyptian jails some days before? Those teenagers attacked media. Some 70 reporters were attacked. The people in Cairo term those youngsters the Baltagis. Baltagis means vandals. Often they are gangs of youngsters who are missioned, appointed to do that.
And in terms of the anti-Mubarak supporters, they'd already been there for over a week. It was a bit of a battle for control of the square, as we saw in your report.
So the anti-Mubarak, at first sight, we can think it's a very heterogeneous group, that it is a demonstration which is absolutely above all classes of Egypt's society. Well, of course, we have seen families go to the Tahrir square. It was the place where people had to be. We have seen families being taken in pictures. The core of this demonstration, of this contestation, is made of a kernel of young, wealthy people using Facebook and Twitter. It's what we call the Facebook generation there. So let us not forget that around them there are political movements and religious movements like the Muslim Brotherhood.
Johan and Karim, very quickly, the army pretty much stood idle during this day.
We can see the army is essential in the coming weeks. The army is holding the country. It's a military country, even if the, Johan said it, army was friendly with the demonstrators. The army holds the country and is monitoring what's happening. The vice president, Omar Suleiman, the one who has the power, is a former of the military. And we didn't stop seeing the army in Egypt.
And Johan Baudin, merci beaucoup. It's good to have you back safely. That's it for this edition of Reporters. Do join us again soon.